If you're considering getting divorced and you're at that moment where you're like, okay, Hannah, I know it's time, like tell me, what do I need to do? Okay, the first thing I'll tell you to do is get prepared, get organized. You need to start thinking about, what do you want to get out of this divorce? What are you gonna do once you tell him or her you're leaving, it's time to go? You need to check your parenting situation, like how's that? How are you showing up as a parent? How's that gonna look in court? And then you're going to get all of your documents and everything together so that when you start the process, you are ready to go, organized, and save yourself a ton of time and money and resources, okay? So that's sort of this initial phase of prep work. Then the next thing you're going to do is figure out, what legal team do you want to represent you? And you may think to yourself, well, duh, I'll just like look on Google or use who my friend used. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good place to start, but I recommend to you that you consider who you choose as your lawyer very carefully. It's like if you've ever hired any employees at all, you sort of learn after doing it a minute to listen to any red flags you have along the way. Because later, when the relationship is ending, you think, I wish I would have paid attention to that little feeling of like, I don't think they really have a good work ethic or whatever. So same idea when you're hiring an attorney. When you visit with their legal team and think to yourself like, okay, is this a good fit? Does their communication style match mine? Does their philosophy of how to do divorce match mine? Does their speed of communication match mine? And really trying to ensure that those two things line up. Because yeah, you can change lawyers, but it's costly and time consuming. And you might want to change once, but once you start changing more than that, more than likely firms are going to kind of look at you of like, really? I don't know if I want to be your fourth lawyer. Like, you're always pointing the finger at the lawyers and it's going to be me next. Like at our firm, if someone switched lawyers once, we'll, open to talking about it. After that, you got to make a good case of why we should start to work with you at our firm. So I think that's the thing, getting fully prepared, having that conversation with the lawyer, picking the right person for you. And then after that, follow their advice. Like once you've made a good choice, lean in, let the expert do what the expert does. Follow their direction, follow their counsel, and then there you go. And getting all your ducks in a row to get divorced. Especially when it concerns money. If you don't do anything else, what I want you to do is get all of your documents and paperwork together before you ever go and file for divorce. Because here's the thing, filing for divorce and then trying to get all your paperwork together is like brushing your teeth with Oreos in your mouth. It's disgusting. You will not feel like doing it. You will not want to do it. You may not have the mental bandwidth to do it. And you may not even be able to do it. Like they may start cutting you off of accounts and removing your access and you can't even get that stuff. So if the money part is the part you're super like nervous and worried about when you're planning to get divorced, I think the best way you can do yourself as a favor is getting together things like bank statements, credit card statements, tax returns, evidence of mortgages, loans, stock award letters, 401k plan information, brokerage accounts. Like getting all of that stuff organized will set you up so well whenever you do actually go work with a lawyer so they can kind of know where to start. And then you're doing it when you're like more calm about the whole thing than, oh, we filed for divorce and everything has gone to crazy town and now I got to go find some W-2 papers. Like you're not going to want to do that. If you're at that point, you're like, I've got to get divorced and I'm really worried about the kids. And like, I want to know how to get ahead of it and how to plan. I think the number one thing you can do is to become parent of the year and be able to prove it. And this one's tough. You may want to just tune me out. But I am the parent of the year. All right, maybe you are. But it's not what you know, it's what you can prove, right? So to do that, your current life circumstances may not be set up very well to prove that you're the primary parent. Like if you're the primary wage earner and you're out working and you travel for work and you go to a bunch of meetings and whatever, and they're at home doing after school drop off and pick up and doctor's appointments, even if you're the one who carries the mental load, even if like amongst yourselves for real, we know you're the primary parent, but they can show all this evidence of everything else they do. You may not be in the best position to make that case at court. And so before you ever file for divorce, I suggest you take stock. How are you showing up as a parent? How are you living out this idea that you should be the primary parent? Like, are you actually doing the thing? And it may not be the most comfy thing, because sometimes the answer may be no. Sometimes the answer may be, I'm not really doing my best. Well, then you may not want to file for divorce just yet. You may want to make a few tweaks and allow the function of time to happen, so that before you ever file, you've cleaned up your act. But here's the thing. If you wait and do this when you're filing, a divorce lawyer will tear you to shreds over it and be like, this is manufactured. Judge don't believe anything she's saying. All of a sudden she's doing drop off. She never did that before. So time is of the essence with this part, and you can really make a huge impact in your case if you get prepared on the parenting stuff from the beginning, before you ever even file. Like, that's what I mean by the beginning. When it comes to getting divorced, you may be tempted to just like dive across the finish line to get this thing started. And just like, I need to get divorced. I finally arrived at the decision, like, let's go. You will do so at your peril. Here's the thing. Planning and careful consideration and strategy beat like hopes and wishes and diving across finish lines every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And so what will really serve you and your kids and your future self is to take the time to make a plan, craft a strategy, do things in a rational order when it's not completely crazy, so that when you start and you're ready to go, you have all of your ducks in a row, and likely will end up saving yourself a ton of money, time, and energy in the process.